How y'all doing?
Oh, thank you. Jalen, we always talk about different offensive coordinators from year to year for you, but have one constant, and that's been Nick Serriani all these years, and now it looks like he'll be here for a few more years. So how has he helped you, and how has that relationship been?
Well, first and foremost, congratulations to him. Everything that he's been able to achieve and accomplish, he's earned, and just to see his evolution and his growth from my perspective and playing quarterback for him, his whole entire tenure here, it's been a great experience, been a great ride. It's been a lot of learning for the both of us, and hopefully we're just getting started.
With Kevin Patullo, a little bit different because he's been here. So how is that transition working out, the early stages of it?
Coach Patullo he's been here throughout the journey as well. He's had a different position, always played a pivotal role in what we've done, and I think he's got a great mentality and a great approach coming into everything right now. And so the bigger picture is just taking it a day at a time, truly, keeping the main thing. And I think that's where we are. Everyone's in a good place. Everyone's focused, and everyone cares about their duties and what they're supposed to do. And we've always had some type of communication in the past in prep, and so nothing really changes in terms of that. It's just kind of people with different titles. So just taking a day at a time. I think this is a season right now in the off season where we're collectively trying to build out the system and structure things the way it's going to be for this iteration of the Eagles.
Is he keeping terminology remain the same? Last year you talked about how different things were.
Yeah.
Is it a lot more similar this year just because he wasn't around?
There's some nuances that are different. I know in the past I gave a number, on that matter, but things evolve and things change as time goes on, and so we're just really bought into that. That's an important thing. I think that's something that I've learned as well, is you have to be able to evolve as time goes on. And so given, Coach Kevin Patullo and his new role now and him being the one in charge of offensive leadership, you get new pieces and new ideas that come from everyone, so Coach Scott, another new quarterback coach who's been great thus far, and Coach Parks Frazier, who's been great as well. And so it's still early in the process. It's still early in building this thing that we want it to be. Ultimately, it'll be a collaborative effort, and it'll take everybody just to be on that same page again to see what the iteration of this team will be.
Well, that is very important to have a new iteration.
I'm sorry?
Why is it important to have a new iteration for something that's been so successful and to have new ideas and evolve?
You have to be able to decode, detect, and then correct, and refine the things that you need to refine. I think the bigger picture, the more important thing is being able to detect what I can improve on and how important it is to improve in that. We can all work hard in something, but not necessarily be working hard in the right things. And so we were able to evolve and add a different dynamic. Obviously, we're having 2-6 back there and what he's able to do, and just kind of complimenting him in the backfield. And then, the ability to pass the ball and be efficient in that when we need to do that. And so right now it's just laying the foundation, trying to figure out what iteration of this team, what this iteration of the team will be.
What's it been like working with Leffler? I mean, he has a reputation as someone that's just going junkie, looking at all kinds of football, and someone that values, that kind of depth and asking questions. What's that initial relationship been like?
It's been good. It's been good. He's made it very clear on he's here to enhance my game and serve and serve as be a point of service in the room. He's very knowledgeable, and I always value someone that can bring new ideas, new point of views, new perspectives to the table, because ultimately I can put it in my toolbox and lean on it when I need to. And so I think it's been great communications thus far. he's very detailed in what he does, and just excited for that journey and what it would look like.
What did it do to you was cleanup day, and you said you were still processing the Super Bowl, how you felt, all that went into it. The benefit of time now, what perspective do you have on what you accomplished?
We're here talking media, talking about the 2025 to 26 season.
Jalen, you're a spokesman for the Jordan brand. I saw on social media you spent a little time with Michael this offseason. Just in either speaking to him or in studying his story, anything that you can take from that in attempting to repeat?
Yeah. Obviously, you only think that those conversations come up, and as competitive as he is, it'd be unwise of me not to seek knowledge from him and lean on someone like that. And so that's something that I value a lot. And the biggest thing is just taking it a day at a time. We have these goals and you have these big dreams of what you want to accomplish, but ultimately it's a journey. And so take it day by day. Like I said earlier, being able to decode, detect, and correct, and pretty much just refine the things that I need to so I can be at my best when needed.
What does it mean for you in the offense that Dallas is coming back?
And it's been a big core piece here. When I look back at, just how my tenure here has been, he's been here every step of the way. And so he's always been someone that I've leaned on and had, saw great value in, his willingness to work, spend time, and prepare for the gauntlet to come in the season. So obviously excited to have him, and we're looking forward to what's to come.
We saw you here at BG's retirement. Well, why did you make it a point to be here, and what did he mean to you?
Yeah, BG was a special player, special leader, special presence. 15 years at this position, and 15 years in general, is unprecedented. But 15 years. 15 years is, it's rare. It's rare, and so that's something that I've appreciated, and being able to build with him and, learn from him in many aspects. So he's someone that'll be missed, but his presence will always be felt, and he's a big part of all of our success here, I believe, and in many ways mine.
Yeah, there's a vote tomorrow on whether to ban the push. Curious, from your perspective, how vital the push is to the sneak play for you guys.
I don't necessarily have a comment on that.
It's been a big off-season for you in general. Congratulations, first off, for getting married. But when it's, Met Gala, whatever, things like that, Time Magazine, how do you keep that from keeping you away from the main thing is the main thing, as you always say?
The main thing is always the main thing, and so you only know what you see, of course. The routine has always been a routine, whether we plan to February or not. And so, you set goals to try and accomplish those things in that moment and in that month. Ultimately, the process is always ongoing. It's always, how can I get better? How can I improve? And carry it out. So I'm really excited about that. It's been exciting just to be here and be able to spend time with the coaches and get some timing down and get some reps and get some things under our wings so we can just continue to build, that type of rapport we need and figure out what the iteration of this team will be this season.
Jalen, how come you didn't go to the White House?
Decision to not go to the White House?
I wasn't available. I don't think that's pertinent. Everyone who went and was available, they seemed to enjoy themselves.
Jalen, has your offseason changed any since you've been named the Super Bowl MVP? Has your offseason changed a little bit, more demands on your time or anything at all?
Yeah, well, it's an adjustment period. It's an adjustment period. There are different things that I have to do within the building that have evolved and changed. I think that's just the reality of some of these things. And so it's my discipline and my focus on what the main thing is and stand true to that.
Coming back, you have, obviously you have Saquon Barkley back again. Like you mentioned, Dallas is back. You have AJ and Devontae back. How much does that help you going into a shortened off-season like you guys did with obviously getting to the Super Bowl and everything, just being a step ahead when all this starts?
Yeah, it helps. It helps absolutely. I look at it from the perspective of there's been, 4 years, where everyone's been here, Coach Serriani included, and every team has been different. Every approach, the sequencing, the processing, the flow of the game, they've all looked different. From complementary football to one side of football, one phase of football, from offense, defense, special teams, etc. It's all looked different. And so the more important piece is, regardless of who you have on the team, it's about finding that flow as a team, creating an identity as a team. And that's where we are right now. It's very early. We're laying the foundation, still filtering through things, but obviously the biggest thing is what will this iteration of the team be? And I don't really care how it looks as long as we find ways to win. And so that's the competitive edge and competitive nature that we want to have and that I have. But just, taking it a day at a time with it right now.
On that note, Jalen, on that note, DJ had said, we don't know how the offense is going to look because don't know exactly how defenses are going to play.
Who was that?
AJ was saying that every year you guys don't know, obviously going in. In the Super Bowl, we saw the emphasis that Kansas City put on stopping Saquon. Obviously, you delivered in that moment. Do you anticipate it similarly being that way, especially early in the season when defenses come at you? And how do you think that's going to affect you in the offense?
I think it evolves and it looks different, right? I think in that example that you're giving, they did a pretty good job of stopping the run the first time we played them as well. So sometimes it's just how the flow of the game goes. And, regardless of what's what, we got a great dynamic when it comes to complementary players and complementary phases we have. How important defense is to me. I believe that defense win championships, and defense played their tail off all year. And ultimately, we just have to find ways to play complementary football, continue to build off of what we've done, but also knowing that it's only a template. It's only a reference in a sense, and you got to continue to grow from that and learn from, the good references and the not so good references in the sense of what our success was. And so just building that out, it'll evolve. It'll be what it'll be. Whatever it is, let's just find ways to win. Let's have that competitive edge we want as a team. Let's have the right mentality, and let's go out there and play and put winning first.
After the Super Bowl, after the MVP, it seemed like perception caught up to how you finally viewed yourself, or how you viewed yourself. How has it been like to exist in that, and to?
What do you mean?
You've said that you've never. There's not a moment that you arrived.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've always had a side for yourself. But now that the Super Bowls are the MVPs, there seems like the accolades and the perception around you is maybe to where you viewed yourself. I'm curious how that's maybe changed. How you've interacted, how you've resisted, how you go to work. If that changes, I don't know, the process for you at all. Or I'm just curious how that might affect your work ahead.
No, nothing's changed in terms of, the drive and the effort and the focus that I know it takes to go out there and do what I'm asked to do. There are a lot of things that externally that you really can't control. And for me, I've just always focused inward on holding myself accountable to trying to do my best. And so there may be external perspectives on different things. Ultimately, it's all subjective, and I try and do the objective, the undeniable and winning, but also just focusing on the things I can control and taking it a day at a time. And so everything that's been accomplished to this point, it's great, but there's a desire to achieve more, and it's only intensified.